Hey guys, one of the most important documents for a small business is its commercial lease. Now, I've reviewed numerous commercial leases for clients, and unfortunately, not all of them are very clear on what the obligations are for the tenant. This is especially a problem when one of those terms is the rent. So, today I want to take a couple minutes and talk about exactly how you can determine what your rent obligations are under a commercial lease. The first number you'll see is the base rent. This is the cost for using the space. Sometimes this will be written in the lease as a flat amount, such as $2,000 per month. Other times it'll be written as an amount per square foot, so $7 per square foot. To figure out what that means for your monthly payments, you take the $7 per square foot, or whatever the amount is, multiply that out by the number of square feet in the space that you're leasing, and then divide that by 12. This will give you the amount that you're paying every month for rent and actually using the space. Now, for some, that may be the only rent that you have each month. However, there are many leases that include other terms that are considered additional rent each month that you're also required to pay beyond the base rent. One type of additional rent is payment for utilities. You may be required under the lease to pay for the utilities that you use, so your electricity, your water, gas for heating. You may also be required to pay for your telephone or your internet if the landlord provides that for you. Now, sometimes this is metered individually, so it keeps track of exactly what you're using and you just pay for what you're using. Other times, the landlord gets one bill for the entire building and then divides that up by the amount of square feet that you use, and that is how much you pay each month for utilities. You may also be required as additional rent to pay for building operational costs. These are costs for things such as property taxes, insurance, or common area maintenance, also known as CAM charges, things such as landscaping for the property, snow removal, and maintenance for restrooms, lobbies, and other common areas like that. These are probably the most common types of additional charges you'll find in a lease, but sometimes you will see other ones in there. Some leases include charges for advertising promotion. This is especially true if maybe a retail shopping center where the landlord collects money from each tenant, which goes towards marketing the entire complex, maybe for websites, advertising billboards, things like that. Another type of charge that's common, again, particularly in retail, is a percentage fee. And this is based on the income that the business takes in above a certain percentage. So, as an example, you may have in the lease that for every dollar that you make above $500,000 in a year, you have to pay as additional rent 1% of that back to the landlord. Again, this usually happens in commercial retail leases, but it is something to be aware of in case it's in your lease. So you need to be aware that the base rent is not necessarily the total amount you're going to be paying every month. There can be additional charges in there for utilities, for CAM charges, things like that. And it's a very good idea to talk with your business attorney anytime that you're entering into a new lease to have him or her review it for you and let you know exactly what charges you're going to have each month so you can properly plan for that and aren't surprised then at the end of the month when you get a notice asking for additional rent that you weren't aware of that you had. I hope you found this video useful. If so, please feel free to go sign up for my newsletter if you haven't already done so. You can find the sign up at the bottom of my website, bradleymillerlaw.com. Down at the bottom, there is a form you can put your name and email address in and get put on the list. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.